It's okay. You can say no. How many of us have been given that option? How many of us was allowed or given that permission growing up? These words brought so much of healing in my life and empowered me to live a much richer life. Growing up in a home, the word no was very rarely said. And if it was said, it was not tolerated, embraced, or accepted. So as I grew older, I found it very, very difficult to set boundaries for myself. And that in turn created very unhealthy relationships. I soon found myself around friends and families and around people in general that would take advantage of my kind nature. I found myself in relationships that took more than it offered. And eventually I found myself in a place empty, dried out, and burnt out as well, to a point where my cup was empty. Until one day, I decided for myself that this was not the life I was going to live. And I gave myself permission to start saying no to people. Now, when you start saying no for the first time, initially it comes as a shock to many around you, and then it's disbelief that takes over them. Because you've always been a person that said yes, when you start saying no, then suddenly the narrative or the feedback that you start to get from people is, oh, you have changed. Isn't it funny that when you start to set boundaries for yourself, then the people that tend to use you and abuse you start to say that you have changed for the worse? I'd like to encourage those out there that grew up in an environment that never gave you permission to say no. Today, I would like to give you that permission to say no and to let you know it's okay to say no. It's okay to let people know that you're not comfortable doing certain things. And it's okay to let people know that you don't have the time to help them with whatever task that they need that assistance with. When I started saying no, out of the sheer shock, most people would say, Kareen, no, you must be kidding. It's not like you to say no. You must be joking, right? I mean, what you actually mean is that you're going to help me with this. Or what you actually mean is you can't help me today, but you will eventually get around to helping me. And that made it incredibly difficult to say no. But I stuck to my guns and I said, no, I will not be assisting with this task. Or no, I will not be contributing towards this. This time around, I was armed with life skills that I wasn't taught growing up, but I would like to teach you. You see, in the Old Testament, in the Bible, there was a group of people called the Israelites. Now, the Israelites had a very short journey to what God has promised them to go into the promised land. But because of their rebellion, what may have taken them a very short time took them 40 years. And for me, it took me years to learn these life skills that empowered me and left me in a better place and left me around more healthy relationships and around people that I healed. And I'd like to teach this to you because I don't want you to take 40 years to discover your voice, for you to take 40 years to set boundaries for yourself. So instead of going around the mountain, I would like to empower you today to go through that mountain. But before we get into that life skills of me teaching you how to say no and how to embrace that journey of setting good, healthy boundaries for yourself, let's understand the concept of what saying yes means. So if you had to say yes to somebody, what you are saying is, I agree to help you. In other words, I agree to graciously extend myself to you, to assist you with whatever you need done. Another way to say it is to make things easier for you, to make something possible for you, or to be of service to you. So that's what you saying yes to somebody means. Saying yes to somebody in the spiritual sense means, and in so doing, I am an expression of God's love and kindness towards you. So now that we've defined what saying yes to somebody means, what does saying no to somebody mean? There's a scripture in the Bible that says, let your yes be yes and let your no be no. And often at times, immature people actually quote that out of context. So if we go on to think that I am my brother's keeper, that means I treat my brother as I treat myself. And what I would want done to my brother, I would want that done unto myself. So don't you think if you forcing somebody to assist you or forcing somebody to say you yes, would you want somebody to force you to do likewise as well? I find that unhealed people raise children with unhealed mindsets that forces people in a unhealed society. And that's something I've been giving a great thought to. And I'm so grateful for meeting Olivia. She's one of my clients. And we have these really, really deep discussions about society and our values and how we can impact people for the greater good. So that day, when Olivia asked me to assist her with a service, I first paused for 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and 4 seconds, trying to get my head around if I could get that task done in time. And by the fourth second, she gave me permission to say a no when she responded and said, "It's okay, Corinne, you can say me no." Because she sensed my hesitancy through my silence over the phone. So, skill number one I would like to teach you is when somebody requests of you or asks you a favor, you can pause, not for 1 second, not for 2 seconds, not for 3 seconds, not for 4 seconds. 5 seconds is a very, very, very long time. By the end of the 5th second, the person on the other side of the phone would have already realized that your answer would be no, or they would have embraced themselves for that no. And you would find them saying, it's okay, I'll make another plan. But for those who are not so, but for those that are not so inclined to get the message, by the end of the 5th second, you can go on to say, I'm sorry, I cannot assist you with this. The next question would be why. So always have an answer for the why. If you've got other things on, you can say to them, I'm sorry, I cannot assist you because I've got other obligations or other commitments. Some people actually take it very personally. They take it as a personal attack on them, or they take it as a personal rejection on them. So you just need to reaffirm the person that you say no to. Let them know that you love them, and maybe a next time around that you would assist them with it. But at this point in time, your answer would have to be no on this. Saying no can help you, it saves you, and it keeps you out of a lot of pain and misery. Often at times over the years when I was forced to say yes, I would find myself so unhappy. And I'd find the situation that I'd said yes to, or the person that I'd said yes to. The end result was bitterness and resentment. Although I had done my best, it was not my place to do whatever I needed to do. And sometimes by you saying no, you're actually giving somebody else an opportunity to step up and say yes in that situation.